ADOS Baron back with another review for ToyWorldOrder.com. Bandai's SH.Figuarts line has been churning out some great figures for the past few years, featuring all sorts of anime, sentai, and kaiju characters. Being one of the premier lines for Japanese collector-grade action figures, they've tackled one of the biggest anime franchises of all time, Dragonball Z. Now, I haven't bought a DBZ toy in quite some time, but when I saw they were releasing a Vegeta in his first appearance outfit, I knew it was one I'd purchase. You see, this version of the Saiyan Prince is always skipped over receiving the action figure treatment in favor of his later costumes. This Vegeta, on the other hand, is the one I'm most fond of, but enough already. Let's take a look at this offering and see if he lives up to the hype. When I opened the box as it arrived at my doorstep, what did I find? But another box! That's right, this guy is so awesome he gets his own protective mailer box. If that's not a good sign of things to come, I don't know what is. The display box he comes in is standard for the Figuarts line, with some great pictures of the figure adorned on the package. Now, I'm not sure about this, but I wonder if the box was made with the English-speaking collector in mind, as there is more English printed on it than your standard release. Because if you look on the back, there is the infamous line from the 90s dub stating Goku's power level is over 9,000! As for the figure himself, well, let's get him out of there! He's suffocating! Japanese toys are notorious for including lots of accessories and extra body pieces, and Vegeta here is no exception. Included within, you get all of this. Wow, that's a lot, but more on that later. If you'll redirect your eyes, let's take a look at the figure. In all honesty, the sculpt here is as fantastic as I had hoped. There have been plenty of plastic representation of Vegeta over the past 20-odd years, but time after time, they never really looked like Toriyama's design. See? It's taken this long, but he looks perfect! The paint on him is top-notch. He's made up of only a few colors, but they are bold and crisp. There's some light dry brushing around certain parts of the body, such as the light purple on the parts cast in white, and the black on the spots like his legs to define his musculature. It's just enough to make him pop, but not too much as to distract you from everything else. It's the best of both worlds! Being a modern figure, he's pretty articulated, so let's break it down. Well, actually, let me point out two big issues. His head is able to turn left and right, but not fully side to side. In fact, you can only turn it slightly side to side before his jawline gets stopped by his neck. And it can move up and down, just not all that well. The next is, you guessed it, those huge honkin' shoulder pads. The shoulders provide a full range of motion, but those pads prevent you from doing so. They are attached via a small ball peg, which allows it to give a little if you try to move the arms upward, but if you go too far, they pop off. So there's no chance of you getting any sweet hand-raised battle poses. Is it irritating? Yes, but I can live with it. He's still fantastic. Points to Bandai for trying. The rest of the articulation we get consists of shoulders, biceps, elbows, wrists, waist swivel, ball hips, knees, ankles, and toes. And I suppose you can count the tail and thigh armor. From looking at it, you'd think there would be a cut at the forearm and calves where the gloves and boots start, but there aren't. I don't think the Japanese believe in them since there are none on their other booted figures. Like many of the humanoid figures in the Figuarts line, Vegeta here has that odd hidden double-jointed hip and shoulders, where if you pull on the leg, it extends, enabling more freedom of movement when posing. It doesn't sacrifice the sculpt, and even if it did, it's covered by his armor. His waist features a similar extending gimmick, but if they gave him a full ball joint there, I'd see no need for it, because it certainly looks weird when you tug on him. As is, he's a great figure, but like I said, he has a ton of add-ons. Oh, where to begin, where to begin? How about the hands? In addition to the closed fist he came attached to in the box, he comes with 3 additional pair of battle hands. These, and what I've dubbed as jazz hands! Now where's my Liza figure, Bandai? Make it happen! We also get 2 specialty hands. one with two pointed fingers and a superb hand crushing his scouter. Definitely the coolest hand in the batch. To change them, all you have to do is pop the existing hand off the peg and snap the other on. Occasionally it can take a little effort because the peg is attached to a ball joint, but it's not that bad. If you've seen the cartoon, you know he's a cocky SOB. The smirking face helps get the point across, but Bandai went the extra mile by including a pair of crossed arms, conveying that look all the better. Switching the arms out is similar to the hands, just pop and snap. When doing it, make sure you have the shoulders positioned just right, or you'll get a gap between the pieces. Now to all of those faces, we have unfazed, smirking, yelling, and overexerted. Changing the faces is a pain. I mean, literally. His hair is so pointy and sharp, I dread changing anything dealing with his head. Wear gloves, maybe? I'm serious. On the reverse side of each face are two pegs which plug into the holes on the hair. Once they are firmly in place, the pieces flow seamlessly throughout one another, and you can hardly tell they're two separate parts. This figure wouldn't be complete if he didn't come with his scouter, which I'm pleased to say was included. Oddly enough, a second head, hair head, came packaged because it won't fit on the one already attached. The second head has a very discreet space for which the tab on the scouter attaches to. It makes no sense to me why they didn't just give us this single head, because the small gap between the ear and the head is so minuscule it doesn't bother me. This means we have to swap heads. It's a real struggle to do so, as you can see here, since the peg on the neck never wants to stay still. Then you put the face on, then you apply the scouter, and even applying the scouter can be difficult to get it to stay in just the right spot! You could attach the face to the head first, but I found that being able to see the peg helps. Are we done with the head yet? I think we are. Out of the box, Vegeta comes with his trademark Saiyan tail snugly wrapped around his waist. But you want more options with that, right? On top of everything else, he comes with an unwound tail as well. To swap him out, pull the tip of the tail apart where it meets at the base and detach it from the hole in the figure. The other tail then snaps in place with a peg at its base. Simple enough. Thankfully, we are given an added figure stand, because he has tiny feet and standing him upright can be problematic. That, and due to the fact that the character flies and is a fighter, given the option of in-air poses is a must. The base and all of its accompanying parts are cast in clear plastic, pretty standard for a Japanese figure. The base has 3 peg holes, giving you the choice of adding the flight rigs at multiple points. Each hole comes with a plug for covering it up when not in use. Just remove the plug and you are ready to situate the pole however you'd like. In the box, you get 3 poles and each is articulated at both ends and the middle. Something seems missing because how is that going to hold the figure up? Oh yeah! You have to assemble a pincer to clamp around his waist. Now we're ready to get him in the air. The last on our list of included pieces are the blast effects. Dragonball Z is 95% blast effect, so it wouldn't be right if something wasn't packed in. Luckily, we get 2! Both can work independently of each other or together as a super blast. Each blast has a hole on its underside which connects to the peg on the figure stand rig. Awesome! Are you a Dragon Ball fan? Then why don't you have him already? Get him! Get him now! He currently retails for roughly $50 at most online retailers, but DBZ SH.Figuarts are known to rise in price after a while. Few issues aside, he's worth every penny and possibly the only Dragon Ball Z toy I'll ever need. Not that that's going to stop me from getting more.